Welcome back to the WHTC Morning News for this Friday, March the 4th. Friday mornings, we take a look at what's going on in travel and tourism and across the state. Things going on this weekend as well. With Dave Lorenz of Pure Michigan. It's the segment called Travel Michigan. Dave, good morning. Ow, ow, ow. I'm looking at gas prices. Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah, no big surprise. Even before all this horrible stuff started in Ukraine, we knew that gas prices would be causing some real challenge this season. And so much of it, I'm not taking sides here, be clear, but let's just, be in real world here. So much of it is policy driven. And it's obvious, we do want to get to sustainable fuels to power our vehicles and all that. And I'm really happy to say Michigan is on the forefront of trying to push that technology through. We are doing some really spectacular things. So are our manufacturers. Well, that's great, but we're not there yet. So as we cut back on domestic production of oil, and we are more dependent on oil from other places around the world, some of whom are not very nice places and cause some real problems, it's inevitable that things are going to cost more. It's just the way it is. And we are also in that situation where, states like ours, these northern states, are about to start the busy travel season. So you're going to have more demand, less supply in our system that causes gas prices to increase. And then all this instability around the globe, especially for one of the biggest producers of oil in Russia. So here we go. I think I told you a month ago that I expected gas prices by May to approach $5. I still do. I think we're going to be making some, hope we're going to be making some adjustments here domestically to ramp up production. But I also think there's a bipartisan understanding starting to come to DC that we're probably going to disallow any purchase of Russian oil. And that, kind of policy and drilling increases here might offset some of that loss of Russian oil. Maybe not. All I know is it's going to increase prices for real reasons. And, the other thing, these, producers of oil and gas, they can just increase their costs. And they do it all the time when there are problems. So here's the great thing with all those horrible things said. And it's true. And it sounds like I'm trying to minimize this. I'm not. I understand the pain that increased cost and inflation all around causes us, especially at the pump. But for your travel occasion, the cost of gas is a really small part of that overall travel occasion. I realize we don't have as much money as we used to because we're spending so much money on everything. So there's not as much of that disposable dollar available. What we were told by all of the research companies is that we expected here in Michigan, because of the pent-up demand for people to take more trips this year, they'll probably travel not as far as they used to. They'll do a lot more of these long weekends, and they will spend less. Now we know they'll spend less because they'll have less. So good and bad, all I know is I am praying for an end to the war in Ukraine, and I know I'm not alone.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you about the impact on travel, not just with the gas prices, but, people are, sometimes not wanting to move too far because of the instability. Certainly foreign travel is going to be definitely impacted by the events a half a world away.
Yeah, it will, but that's the other interesting thing. As the borders are starting to open up, people in markets that know Michigan, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, the UK, Ireland, they're going to be seeking safe destinations for their travel, what they perceive as safe. Because what we know is when there's world instability, when there are all these horrible things happening, people are seeking safety for their travel. And you may not think about that as an American, because here we are in our own little part of the world where things seem to be so much safer than they are in places like Europe or Asia. But people will seek safety. We will as well, by the way. So that probably means more people in Michigan staying in Michigan, more people in the Great Lakes area coming to Michigan, partially because the Pure Michigan campaign pulling them here, and Europeans starting to come back because they can, and they're seeking what we offer, real Americana and value. And folks in Ontario who have been really missing Michigan, and we've been missing them, they're going to come over the border in droves because as expensive as it is here, it's always more expensive there. And they've already shut off Russian oil in Canada. So I think I don't want to sound self-serving or selfish, because my concerns are for the travel industry, which means all of us. But I think the travel industry in Michigan, considering all of the challenges we have, will not be as hard hit this year as compared to so many other places around the country.
One final thing, Dave, and this is something that sometimes we stay away from when we've been doing our discussions, because we talk more about tourism and travel in general. But things going on this weekend, certainly a lot of people will be heading to Meyer Gardens for the butterfly exhibit. That is in full bloom, no pun intended. And of course, we have a lot of our girlfriends in town this weekend, as it's Girlfriends Weekend here in Holland, and they're expecting around 600 or so to attend. But things that are going on this weekend in our state, and of course, don't load up the cars too much, because we got those seasonal weight restrictions on area roads right now.
That's true. Well, if you want to head to Grand Rapids this weekend, they still have a lot of those lighted outdoor displays downtown. Really cool things, by the way. A big polar bear, sculptures on the Blue Bridge, for instance, and a bunch of others. So think about that. And if you do go to Grand Rapids, think about that women in uniform exhibit at the Gerald R. Ford Museum in Grand Rapids. Might want to also tonight think about going to Ann Arbor. They're doing The Price is Right live at the Michigan Theater. I've never seen that, but it just sounds like fun. And don't we need some fun and some craziness right now? Also, the Accidentals, this really, really great young team of musicians from Traverse City. They are performing tonight at the Listening Room in Grand Rapids. Everybody will like them. I'll just put it that way. They're just really fantastic. And what nice young people. If you want information on other events and activities all around the state, go to the events section at michigan.org. And here's one last one. This might be one of your last really good weekends to go up north and do some skiing. We had real cold, last couple of nights. They've been making snow, and it's going to be a really great weekend for skiing.
Winter is starting to be in the rear view mirror more and more. Temperatures in the 60s tomorrow. Yeah. Dave Lorenz, as always, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for passing on some tips for us. And we look forward, if all goes well, to doing this again next Friday morning. Thank you, sir.
Pray for Ukraine. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you very much, Dave Lorenz, on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.